Hello, everybody. Welcome to Woman Up. My name's Leah, and I'm joined by Sue. Hi, Sue.
Hi, Hi, Leah. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
That's good.
And today we're joined by our friend Phoebe. Hello, Phoebe.
Hi, Phoebe.
Thanks for having me.
Phoebe's a mother and a women's rights activist. Would you describe yourself as that?
I'm a fan of women's rights activists.
Okay.
I do my best to be part of it, but a lot of women are doing a lot of work.
Oh, yeah, but you've got children, so you're
Yeah.
pretty busy. So
Yeah, we do what we can.
yeah, that's right.
Well, you're getting out there and you're hassling MPs, which we always like to see, which we're going to get to in a sec. But why don't you give us a short intro on how you first noticed that something was going very wrong here?
Well, I first noticed it online in groups, in women's groups, lesbian groups, just groups where women were, how men were in them. And at first I was like, all right, but we all know that your ticket's different than our ticket, And then they were actually really trying to tell me that they were women. I was like, nah, I had to leave all of those groups.
I can't. Sorry.
How long ago was that, Phoebe?
So this is like a decade ago or something now.
Right.
So that's the online. But with real life, what hit me hard was my daughter. She was 5 last year, and I had to go and get changed. So she's come in with me, and there's a men's change room and a men's and women's change room, and those were your two options. And we went in there. I didn't think she noticed, but she said, "Mum, there's a boys' change room and a girls' and boys' change room. Where's our space just for us?" And I said, "Oh, what is that? Is that right? Well, there must have been a problem with the building. We have to get in touch with the builders." So at the moment, my daughter thinks there's a problem in the construction industry with the signage. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
isn't that madness?
Yeah.
And I wonder what this is doing to our little girls as well. It's so confusing.
I don't have it in me to tell her that men are women. So
yeah. No, well, she is lucky that she has a TERF mother. And I think that's what's going to change the generation that are coming up. The amount of women who have children who are not going to be going along with this.
And the thing is to make your kids resilient to so when they hear this stuff, they don't take it in and it's real. Because if you don't talk to your kids, like she's still quite young, but as they get older, to make them resilient so that, because they are little sponges, aren't they? So
I can't seem to build the resilience to this. I don't know how to build resilience to your rights being taken away from you.
but it's about, like being told that they were assigned a sex at birth, that they can change sex. That's the sort of thing that I mean, is tell them that they're the sex that they're born in. Because when they go to school, this is what they're going to hear.
Well, thank goodness I don't think that's happening at my school. I went down there and said, same time I went down there and said, I'm not really interested in the God things, don't want my kids up for that. And also the gender things, which I put in the same box. I don't want religious instruction, be it gender or God or whatever. None of that, because it's a primary school, but then we've got high school coming up. That's a different ballgame, I think.
Yeah.
And it's not just school, it's when they get on the internet as well that it really, I mean, I would advise don't let your kids on the internet, but
well, you can do that when your child is 1, but
exactly. I was going to say it's very easy for me to say at the moment, but like it is a worry. It is a worry.
I just have to have the conversations all the time.
Yeah.
If I see them, I mean, I thought, can we talk about YouTubers on here? No.
Yeah.
Yes. One of the Mr. Beast YouTuber, real famous.
Yeah.
Kids love watching him, and he had this fella transitions.
Yeah.
And I was really proud of my son. This is straight up. He's like, what's this dude doing? I don't even think I want to watch anymore. He's being silly, you know.
I was thinking it's probably going to put a lot of kids off because it is really off-putting. And he's got a wife and a child as well.
Oh God, has he?
Yeah.
Poor wife and child.
Yeah.
Yeah, that relationship finished, and he went and became an idiot.
If you are.
Oh gosh, we might have to do a couple of takes.
That's fine. That's fine.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Here goes.
Sure.
Hey, Anthony, congratulations on buying Smosh.
Thank
Is that
you.
good?
That was good. Thank
Yeah.
you. The most interesting part about seeing that is it felt like there was like a sparkle in your eye. Something
Yeah.
about it was like I could see this feeling of you feeling like yourself.
Yeah, and I really...
What made you first step outside and actually do some activism with this, or go to a speaking event, or get involved in some way that you felt like you were doing something? Because, you know, not everybody does that.
Gosh.
Because I think I first met you at the speakers events that Anna McCormack ran in Brisbane.
We all met there,
Yeah.
didn't we? It seems to be like the meeting place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was back in when Anna started doing the conferences. I don't know. I must have been feeling really, and I said, "Yeah, I'm in." So, yeah.
So did you follow IWG on Facebook?
To me, I'll be honest, because I'm from Sydney, and most of the people I've met up in Brisbane have been through social media, and they've been gender critical people. This is the circle I created when I moved up here, was a gender critical circle, you know, starting online and then in live. So, yeah.
So, Phoebe, you were saying that you noticed this starting about 10 years ago.
Yeah, in feminist discussion groups, you know, that's where I saw it. There was fellas coming in, and we were like, "Oh yeah, use the pronoun." But I thought there was an understanding behind it that you're not women, right? That was the understanding. And then they're like, "No, we are."
Yeah.
And then I had to go, "Oh shit, no, I'm going to have to be mean now, because that's not right." I want to be a nice person, but no.
Yeah, I had it for a good 6 months of back in about 2015 or so, when I first started hearing about trans women and women, and I thought, yeah, okay, fine, they are born in the wrong body. Then I thought about it for about 5 minutes, and it just didn't make sense, you know.
You know, 5 minutes of actual thinking.
Yeah, I heard about it, but then what I came across, and this is going back like 2018, 2019, it was really, I didn't see a lot of it there, you know, because I was in the animal rights movement, and I saw one, and to be kind, you know, just accepted, but I didn't really believe he was a woman, but wanted to identify as one and just want to be kind. So I thought, you know, as the real trans, you know, I've got an acquaintance, a friend who's a trans person, but a real trans person. You know, she didn't identify as the sex she was born as, and, you know, and so she made the change, is now a he, but it's never wanted to oppress other people, just wanted to blend in. And that's what they've always done. They wanted to blend in as the sex that they wanted to be, but they were extremely rare. But now they're not. And then in 2022, what happened to me, and it was like, oh my God, what's going on here? It was like an explosion to me. So Leah, in 2015, you were aware, Phoebe 10 years ago, and it wasn't until 2022 that I got attacked for liking an article about men in women's sports, and just crazy, just really crazy.
No one expected it to change from people who had to, back in the UK, you had to live as a woman or a man for 2 years before you could change your legal documents. And I think you also had to have the operation. Now, I don't believe that having an operation changes your sex.
Oh, do I?
But that's why it was so rare, because no one would want really to go through having that operation, I believe, and unless you were, I don't know, I hate to say serious about living as a woman, because it doesn't mean anything. Now they've completely taken away any what's the word, any distinction between a transsexual and a transvestite, or just someone who wants to say that they're a woman.
Well, that's right.
There's a real a really manly man construction worker can walk in and go, I'm a woman. They don't even have to have anything feminine looking or behaviour. They just say, I'm a woman. So, yeah, it's crazy.
What do they need? They need their buddy to sign a piece of paper that said, he's been acting like a woman for a year, and that's it. He's in our spaces.
Yeah. But the thing is,
though, have to shave.
But it doesn't even prevent any man from coming into our spaces, because you can't ask them to see the birth certificate, because
this is it. Exactly. This is it. It doesn't matter anymore, does it? Because we don't have a space.
Yeah.
No, it's all just gender neutral. I was watching, they're watching the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think movies tells us a lot about society. We were watching Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's set in the future. And there was a prison scene, and it was men and women were in this prison scene. And I was like, this is shocking and thought-provoking. And I thought I might throw that in there.
How old is that film?
Oh, we've only just watched it last week, but I think it's like 10, 12 years old or something. There's 3 of them.
Oh, do you think it's kind of propaganda to get us to what was coming? Right.
Because my kids are watching this, and now in their mind is the idea of a prison with men and women in it. But there's a lot of transhumanist stuff in that movie too. I'm gonna watch it again.
Well, I remember the first time I saw anything like that in like popular television was Orange is the New Black, and they had Laverne Cox, huge, strapping, tall man pretending to be a woman in the women's prison, and that was just absolutely fine. And there's little things that they feed into culture to try and soften you up to these ideas.
Which is why people aren't shrugging. They're not even noticing when we say, oh, there are men in women's prisons. Like, oh, they've got dresses on, it's fine. Shush you.
And as Julia Gillard said, not everyone, hardly any people are going to end up in prison. Hardly any people are going to be in elite sports. Hardly any people. And it's like, but everyone is probably going to need end-of-life care if we're lucky enough to get old. And we all deserve the right to have single-sex care at any point in our life.
But even if it was just one elite woman that missed out, that's one too many. Why should we step aside? Why does there have to be, and there are heaps, we've seen it globally, what they're doing to women's sports. But why is it that one woman, even if it was one woman, should step aside for a man who is cheating? Because he's a mediocre man in men's sports. He wants to dominate women's sports. So, we can just move over for these men. I don't care if it's one woman. That one woman should not have to give up, because they work hard.
Someone's daughter. That's right.
Yeah. What kind of message does it send to our girls and our children in general? Just when you explain this to people, they think, oh, we've got our tinfoil hats on. But no, our rights are literally being stripped away as we speak. So who is Di Farmer?
Oh, all right.
And how did you end up outside her office?
Okay, so Di Farmer, she is the Minister, I'm reading my notes, she's the Minister for Employment, Small Business Training and Skills. And that was down at Morningside. That was our second action of this group of things.
Right.
Yeah, she didn't come out or anything.
How many actions have you done, Phoebe?
We've done only 3 for this set of things.
Because you did Don Brown as well.
Yeah, we did him in June. We did Di Farmer in July, and then we did Mark Bailey a couple of weeks back in Maruka.
So none of these politicians seem to know what a woman is?
No. So these are the ones who have, what's the bill called that they voted on? The self-sex ID. They voted, yes, we would like men to just have women's birth certificates whenever they feels it, and they all voted for that. So we've got a list here. I'm just going through the list, and just go. But the cool thing is that the last time we did the holding up the signs for the cars, that was fun. I'd never done that before. And it feels like, you know, because people are interacting, they're looking, they're tooting, and it's like, oh, it feels like someone's listening to me.
And they agree as well, don't they? You get so many beeps and thumbs up and stuff. Everyone agrees. Well, 99% agree.
People don't know. The only reason this is happening is because people don't know. No one's been consulted. We didn't have a referendum. It was done completely on the low, because which is really, when you look at it, I mean, that was very rude of them, but the fact that they had to do it like that shows us that we can fix this, because they couldn't have done it if everyone knew, could they?
Well, no, because they'd have to educate the public. And if they had educated the public and what it meant, it would be a no. So it's all done underhandedly.
Well, I've just had something through the post from the Voice.
Yeah, I did.
And it has reasons to vote yes and reasons to vote no. So why didn't we have something like this for the self-sex ID when it mainly is going to affect women and children?
Because they knew it would not be voted on. Yeah, I mean, you know, it wouldn't win the vote. So the only way they could get it through was to do it the way they've done. Well, if you look at England, Leah, and they weren't going to consult women. And then eventually they did, because they were going to bring in sex self-ID. You would have been in England then, Leah? Would you, when this happened?
Well, if it was before 2019, I was in England, and then I came here in 2019, but I wasn't that involved with it back then.
But they weren't going to consult women, the same as
I never heard anything.
Other jurisdiction. And then for some reason they did and decided against it. So as soon as they consult with women, there's too much information there. They can't say yes. And that's why they won't consult with women.
Yeah, it's just getting it out there. If we get it out there, it's all over.
Yeah. So there's just 3 of you that go out, isn't there, Phoebe? So you do it once a month.
Yeah.
And you started in June.
I think the next one, we've got a couple more people coming. So, yeah.
Great.
I would like to invite anyone who's in the know, who's seeing the posts. I mean, it's not out there publicly what we're going to do, because we do it nice and quiet and no one comes to spit on us or anything. So, you know.
And how long are you out there for?
Pardon?
How long do you go out for?
Oh, hardly. The main thing is the coffee afterwards, really, and a lovely chit chat. You go out there, you do your work, you hold your sign, you might chat to someone. I don't know, like an hour or something. Sometimes it's a bit hot in the sun, so it's not too long.
Yeah.
And then just go and have a coffee and have a chit chat. It's actually a lovely thing to do.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. No one's going to get you. Come on down.
It's quite empowering, isn't it?
Well, yes, because, you know, some of us don't want to go to the speaking corners, or maybe we don't have it in us to write big articles or something. It's something that anyone can do. Yeah. You don't have to know how many nanomoles of testosterone is in a man or a woman. You don't have to have all of these facts. We know what we are. Yeah. Just relax, have a good time, and get something done. Yeah.
That sounds hopeful. You sound very hopeful. Sometimes I think we're pushing a huge tidal wave, and I don't know, sometimes I just get a bit despondent by it, because everyone seems to be doubling down.
Yeah, but you get out there in the public and you realise that it's not popular. And I think that's the benefit, is because you can feel that way. If you don't go out and do something like that, you do feel like, okay, well, this week we're going to have to live with this. And then when you go out and you get the the overwhelming support from the public, and you compare the positive to the negative, and the positive just outweighs the negative, like it's just a massive difference.
I think it's sometimes as well the consequences that you can get for speaking out, which is why a lot don't do it. But there'll be loads of women out there who have been, shunned and excluded from family, even. Family members will pretend like you don't exist.
Yeah.
All for speaking out and saying that you think that women are adult human females, autonomous beings, deserving of our own rights away from men.
Yeah.
And
this is why our community is important, the turfing community.
Yeah.
You don't have to be friends with everyone, but just find a bunch of chicks, a bunch of humans, whatever, that make you shine and that you laugh at the same terrible jokes, and, just get stuff done and just enjoy yourself. I'm sorry, but I'm here to enjoy myself.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with enjoying that as well, because you do find you have a bond with these people as well.
Well, that's why we go to the pub after our things as well, isn't it?
That's right. But the beauty is also, if anyone wants to get out but can't be seen to be seen, these things, a hat, sunglasses, a mask, wear a wig, it's not impossible to do. And you can do it. I mean, we have people that can't be identified, and
we've all been really good with it. I don't think we've made mistakes. The turfing community is smart. We keep each other safe.
Yeah,
and it's been good.
The women in Queensland are doing so much.
Yeah,
it's really good to see. Yeah, and we're doing our speakers corner as well. Next one is on the 10th of September. So last time we did some actions, and things got a little bit dramatic, didn't they?
Yeah, they certainly did. Phoebe, have you seen that footage?
I did see that on your last Woman Up. Yeah, the footage is great, isn't it? She's just throwing water right at you.
Yeah. Well, what are we getting? What's the deal, Sue? The Greens member?
Yeah, there's a Greens member, a councillor for the Gabba. And we, through the footage, identified her. And she made false claims that we actually went into the park, crashed there, not just her, but others as well from the Greens or other trans extremists, claim that we walked into the park, we crashed their peaceful protest and that we attacked them. But the silly part is they know we've got the evidence because we have women with body cams on. We're not stupid. We've got body cameras now. And it shows us peacefully walking in the park. Everything they've claimed is false. So, yeah, it's just crazy.
And those chanting at you with their odd eyes.
Yeah.
Very strange behaviour.
Yeah. I just turned around and saw them doing it and I thought, where have you come from? It's like they just appeared and started chanting, and I just thought, wow. I mean, the thing is though, when you've got young people like that, it's very hard to, you can't change their mind. People have to realise on their own these girls will have to realize that these men that they're protecting don't care about them. They don't give a shit about these girls. They would drop them like that as soon as they need to. And they're just pawns for this whole charade.
But also the Greens councillor, because I tagged her into a post on my page, and she accused us of doing what they did. And then she made this comment that something like, I can't remember word for word, I have screenshotted, that people like you, TERFs, are not welcome here. You're not welcome anywhere. So she's supposed to be representing the ratepayers and the residents of the Gabba. So unless you're supporting them, she will not represent you, because you're not welcome. You're not welcome anywhere. And for a politician, which is really what a councillor is, it's a political position. You're not welcome anywhere. So the residents and ratepayers of the Gabba need to understand that they've got someone in council that's representing them only if they believe in gender ideology. If you question it, no, you're not welcome anywhere. So
people don't know what TERFs are. I don't think people know what TERFs are.
I think more.
Because, I mean, did you see this morning that that fella in England he said, bunch the TERFs.
He's going to come here and be really fluffy and be really nice and say, yeah, be really lovely and queer and gay. No, if you see a TERF, punch him in the fucking face.
Yeah.
The court just decided, no, you're right, that's fine. That's us. That's punch us.
Yeah. And
but people don't know what they're talking about when they say TERF this and TERF that. It just flows over their heads.
Oh, I don't think so in England so much.
I think an explanation could be that the judges and the people in the top of these systems are trans rights activists or gynophiles or paedophiles, and they're protecting these men.
Yeah.
As well.
And this guy said when he got up there, it was what, hundreds or thousands of people.
5,000.
And he says punch a TERF. And then when he's up before a judge and he goes, oh no, it's just promoting. I was promoting trans ideology. And the judge, oh yeah, you know, if we went to our speaker's corner and said punch a trans person, we never ever even mentioned them. And there's no way we would incite violence against them either. But if we got up there and said, oh, punch a trans person, you watch, we'd get arrested straight away and we'd be convicted. But they're allowed to say, punch a TERF. You know, you look at what happened in Wellington with that 72-year-old and, you know, the women that got assaulted in Wellington. So the ones that are inciting violence against us really are the judges that let these things do.
Yeah, you're on it. Yeah.
I just think all the drugs and hormones that they're taking are really as well messing with these people's brains in a serious way.
Yeah.
I don't know if that Sarah Jane bloke.
Oh, that's the one, yeah.
I don't know if he's a transsexual or a transvestite. Oh no, he bit his own bollocks off.
Really?
In prison he did, yeah.
My God.
So yeah. Stable person. But this is the thing, like, a woman is not just a man without bollocks.
Yeah, that's right.
A woman isn't just a man with a uterus implanted inside him, which is never going to work, by the way. I'm getting tired of even reading about that kind of shit, because you're never going to make a man pregnant, ever.
But what about that one that wants to get pregnant so he can be the first trans person to have an abortion?
Full uterus transplant, ovaries and eggs included. And I want to be the first trans woman to have an abortion. I will let a doctor who has successfully transplanted a uterine complex before cut the organs out of a willing, healthy, transmasculine donor, place them in my body, I will devote myself, heart and soul, to their aftercare. I will have as much gay sex as it takes, with as many trans women as it takes, and let the transphobes and homophobes scratch their heads, wondering what to make of it. And I want to be the first trans woman to have an abortion.
But this is their state of mind. You want to get pregnant so you can have the first abortion. Oh my God. It's unbelievable.
There's no words.
No thought of the babies at all when they're talking about how they want to be mothers and so forth and breastfeed and whatever.
The baby never comes into question.
Themselves only.
The baby isn't important. Children are not important anymore to the state.
No, yeah. That's right. They're not oppressed. They're cisgender babies. Yep.
I had a comment from a man in Brisbane who famously moob fed his baby, saying that he was going to report me to the police for talking about his story, which has been everywhere. He's written his own story and articles. But these people want complete control over the narrative, and they want to be able to give out an impression. And as soon as women like us, women who don't agree, women who say no, come back, they hate it.
Yeah, he left a comment on my Twitter page also, and he said, "Don't mention my name." Well, we
have never mentioned his name.
We didn't mention his occupation.
No,
he said a medical professional.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he put it out in the public domain, and he expected everyone go, "Oh, aren't you fantastic?" And he got overwhelming negative responses.
Of course, because objectively, when you see a man attempting to breastfeed a baby, it has a visceral reaction inside any normal human being of absolute disgust.
Yeah.
And 99% of people are not going to agree that a baby should be latching onto a man's nipple.
So when you see governments and industry promote it, and they're the ones that should be looking after the public, they should be looking after babies because they're the most vulnerable and the aged. When you look at the really vulnerable categories like the ones with disabilities, and you've got these governments that are promoting these men and making it illegal for us to talk about them in a negative way. You're only allowed to talk about them in a positive way. And, painting us as being the aggressors, the oppressors, when it's not us at all. We're far from it.
Yeah, it's all back to front.
We're accepting up to the point that they just took everything from us. And, like even before any of this happened, like we were talking before, is a man that, said he was a woman, you'd go along with it, but you knew that he was still a man. So it was an understood thing. We all understood that, and we still do. Yeah. And nothing's going to change our mind. And you look at the Greens when they're talking about climate change and how everyone has to believe the science. But when it comes to men wanting to be women, no, just disregard the science, disregard the reality. Let's cater to these delusional men that just want to oppress women. Because the real trans, the ones with gender dysphoria, they're the ones that have just always been there in the background and just wanted to sort of blend in and didn't want people to know, and very, very subdued. But these ones are in your face, yelling at you, screaming at you, telling you you're nothing, that you're just body parts, that sort of thing. Very, very different.
I don't even know if I agree with the whole concept of gender dysphoria anyway, but that aside, we
don't have to all agree on everything.
No, of course not. But they do say that you don't have to have suffered from gender dysphoria to now be trans.
And I guess the ones in the past, I think gender dysphoria is a result of trauma in their life, and that's when they, you know, they hate their body. I know what you're saying, but there are people that genuinely hate their body, but there's some sort of trauma that needs to be dealt with.
Mm.
So it could be internalized homophobia if they're same-sex attracted, and they're made to hate themselves because they're same-sex attracted, and then they hate their body, that sort of thing.
Mm. Okay, if you're calling that gender dysphoria, yeah, fine.
Yeah,
but I think
that's what I think it is anyway. I don't think it's that they've got a female brain.
No,
they haven't. They're male. But if there's some sort of trauma and if they are same-sex attracted, and if you go back to the history with, you know, what gays and lesbians had to go through, and there's that internalized homophobia and they hate themselves. So they're born in the wrong body. It makes it very easy to say, I'm born in the wrong body. And, you know, you're attracted to the opposite sex because I'm a female, but now I'm a male. I'm attracted to a woman. So you know what I mean? So, yeah.
It's just not my daughter's responsibility to make them feel better about that problem they've got, though.
Yeah,
it's not mine, it's not yours, it's not my mum's.
No, and we shouldn't have to move over for it. What they need is psychiatric help, which is what they've had in the past. But, you know, they can't seem to move past that trauma. So that
doesn't make enough money.
Yeah, but now
drugs and surgeries and hormones make a lot of money.
Yeah, but the organophiles don't change anything about themselves. So they're not really, where's the money in the drugs and all that from them? Because they don't have the surgery. They don't go, a lot of them don't take feminizing hormones. They just put on a dress. But when it comes to the children, and then they go, you know, they shouldn't be forced to do all that stuff. Why should they? But then they're forcing the children to be medicalized for life, to have double mastectomies. And, you know, it's such a hypocritical movement.
Oh, the girls have to change everything about their bodies if they want to be boys.
Yeah.
A man can have a penis, but a woman can have a penis, but a man can't have a pair of tits.
Yeah, yeah.
They have to come off straight away.
Yeah. It's insane, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a misogynistic, disgusting movement.
Yeah, I don't know. You're right. What money can they make from the AGPs? I think they're just put in there to freak us out, to scare us into silence.
I think the children, like Helen Joyce says, the children are needed for the AGPs
to get their way. Yeah, that's right.
To be normalised through the children. Yes, yeah.
Well, because because an AGP will still say that he's trapped in the wrong body.
Yeah.
And in order for that theory to be true, there has to be the idea of a trans child.
Yeah.
Right.
It should be a huge red flag to anybody who ever hears that.
Yeah.
Someone saying they have a trans child or a child trans.
It's very homophobic too, because now they're getting rid of all the same-sex attracted young people by telling them they were born in the wrong body. So if they put them on puberty blockers and then cross-sex hormones, they're sterilised, they can never have children. It just seems to be such an agenda.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's an agenda.
It does make you want to go and get your tinfoil hat, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, look, I've been wearing a tinfoil hat for a while. I'm not going to lie. And, yeah. But, you know, the truth is know what a woman is. But they just can't decide whether they want us to have bodily autonomy or not in the truthers movement, which is why they haven't brought us much love, really.
Well, they're
full of misogynists as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But women stand in their way, so they've got to get rid of us. And they reduce us to body parts. You know.
Yeah. A man saying no to them means nothing. It doesn't affect them. You know, they're not trying to get into men's spaces. They don't care if men say no because it's not a barrier to what they want, whereas we are basically the witches.
Yeah, the TERFs, the evil TERFs.
There's no going back now.
And it's just getting more and more people becoming aware, and
and that's how we do it. We just have to get out there and let people know.
Yeah.
Can I do a little plug?
Yeah.
So if you're a woman, or if you're a lesbian or a straight woman or a bi woman, please come to our the IWD, Lesbian Lives. What is it again? Oh shit, I fucked it. Sorry. If you're a woman, and it doesn't matter if you're a lesbian or a straight or bi woman, we've still got spots. Not me. IWD Brisbane Mange, and it's Anna's stuff. So she's still got some spots left for the Lesbian Lives Visibility, Activism and Women's Rights Conference, which is over 2 days on the 16th and 17th of September. There's going to be food, there's going to be fun, and you can go for 1 day, 2 days. The only thing you got to do is email Anna, and she'll make sure you're who you are, who you say you are. Yeah, and you're in.
And I guess that's a good thing, because Anna vets these people. So anyone is trying to remain confidential about being interested in this stuff, because Anna vets them, so you can be sure that it's not going to be a trans activist turning up.
I don't think there's ever been a trans activist turn up.
No.
Look, I don't even know where it is right now. She's so good.
Yeah. So we'll put
it's going to be awesome, though.
Yeah, it does look really good. We'll put the email address in the description for anyone who's interested in that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Looking forward to that one.
So the tickets are available. They close on the 5th of September, and it's extended the date.
Yeah, she did. So you can go both days, or one of the days, either the Saturday or the Sunday.
Quickly, don't sit on it for a week or so, because they close in, what's today, the 2nd of September. Yep. So they close in 3 days. So make sure.
3 days. So you need to come and email today. Go on, do it.
And yeah, great. And we've got a speakers corner on the 10th of September as well. Anyone who can come to that. We're building it up, and we're getting more and more people coming all the time, which is great.
Yeah.
And then, like I say, we go to the pub after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you meet like-minded people, and we enjoy ourselves doing it, and especially meeting new people that come along. So
yeah, it's great, because everyone who comes along has come there from completely different circumstance. So it's great.
So both women and men.
You're telling me it's not a bunch of right-wing people? Wow. All different people, you're saying?
Yeah.
They're not just Nazis. What?
I know. It's disappointing for some people.
Coming up to summer now, so more people will be coming around to those speakers' corners. It's getting warm.
Yeah, it's been quite chilly, hasn't it? Even for me.
Yeah,
even for you, Leah, who doesn't feel the cold at all.
And we've also got another, yes, it is a secret group, because our groups have to be secret. So if you come along to our speakers' corner, we can talk to you and see if you want to be involved in the other group, the other things that we do, which is our secret action group, protests and rallies and things like that.
Yeah, because we'll never advertise them, because we're very, very cautious and are aware that so many trans activists are trying to infiltrate our groups all the time. So, like Speakers Corner is advertised, it's a different thing, but the actions that we do, no, they're not.
Yeah. All right then.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming, Phoebe.
Thanks, Phoebe.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you,
everyone.